Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Mother, Mother.
Hello all, and welcome to this. This is the other question and answer video I said I would do yesterday, so here we go. One quick thing, if you check in the description box, you will see a link. I'm asked this question all the time, other than the question that I just answered about what's my type. Oliver to the Scott account, as most of you know, got suspended. His new account is in the description. Check it out, wherever it is. And that's it. Let's get to the questions. Hey, TruthSlayer, I've noticed that Japanese crowds never popped. Not only that, but they never even leave their seats. Why is this? I've noticed this for a while and decided to ask it. Thanks. Here's the reason. Because it's a cultural thing. Japanese have a thing about being polite. That's what the crowds are being. In their mind, they're being polite. That's why they clap. That's why they don't hoot holler. They think that's being kind of disrespectful to the wrestlers, I guess. But it's more of a cultural thing. I'm sure they look at us very much the same way as, you know, well, what are the Americans doing? They're being crazy and loud and obnoxious. However, if you see a show that has a much younger crowd, it does act a little bit more like a U.S. crowd. So there you go. Is there actually a perfect 10 pay-per-view that you would sell a limb just to see? Pay-per-view, no. Show, yes. As I said on my top 5 shows video, Dream Slam 1, I would give a 10 to, because it has 2 5-star matches, plus it has, I think it has 1 2-star and 1 1-star match, and then everything else on it is 3 and 4 stars, I believe. I think it's got a couple 4-star matches on it too. It's pretty impressive when you show people just how good that show is. They're just like, their mouths usually just drop. Here we go. Why do you think the WWE used to have pay-per-views like Rebellion and Insurrection that were only seen in the UK or Europe? It seems like if they were going to take the time and money to produce pay-per-view, they might as well show it in the US as well, so you can make money off of it. Do you know why they used to do this? I am not exactly sure why they did this, but I know one of the reasons is because they were making mad money in Europe at the time. And it might have also been they might not have had a really good pay-per-view. They might not have been able to get as many pay-per-views seen airing from the US and Europe, and they may have just wanted to give the Europeans something to see. Both of the shows are really good. I used to have the Rebellion tape, and that was a very good show. So, but at the time, you have to also remember the time the WWE was doing mad business in Europe due to Bret Hart. So, there you go. In your opinion, who is the top heel in pro wrestling today domestically? That would be Mr. McMahon. That is, without a doubt, the top heel in the business right now, domestically. You said that WWE used to be really good around 2002, and then it got worse. Would this be because the brand extension happened around then? I'm guessing that the schedules got a lot more complicated and the wrestlers couldn't handle it. Would you agree with this? No, I would not. Here's the thing. What happened is around 2002, after 2002, you had The Rock and Austin kind of starting to leave, and the WWE did not do a good enough job of taking the guys who should have been pushed to the main event, to the point where, and then you had Brock Lesnar leave as well. You got all of those type of things happen to where they didn't kind of build for the future, so that when stuff basically started happening, you didn't have a big enough star roster to kind of fill in the plugs where needed, and that's kind of why it started happening. Bad booking as well was a big part of it. Just bad booking did not help matters. I know that you don't do many Q&A videos anymore, but I had a question. I'm a huge ROH fan, as you are, and I was wondering if the experience is downgrading for you, given the fact that most of the winners are already widely known before anyone can see the matches on DVD or pay-per-view. Nigel McGuinness is the new ROH World Champion, and that is a huge minute, but it's going to be on pay-per-view that airs in January, so it's almost like the moment is gone. Do you feel the same way I do? Even though the product is amazing, there is something that has to be said regarding the fact that people already know the winners of the big matches before they can see them. If you have the time to answer this, I would appreciate it. I agree, but I also kind of disagree. It does bug me that, you know, I can't see it live, but at the same time I understand why I can't see it live. By all accounts, Ring of Honor seems to be aware of this and seems to be trying to fix this, so I'll kind of give them a pass. But I do agree. My biggest complaint with what you're talking about is the McGinnis thing, where we are going to have to wait till January, which seems like forever and a day. I wish that they would do a better job of taping the pay-per-views at least a month out. I think that's more than enough time. I really do. 2-3 months out is a bit much, in my opinion. TruthSlayer, now that ROH has monthly pay-per-view deal, do you think the next logical step for the company's growth is to distribute DVDs in retail stores? That and get a legitimate television deal, which apparently they are working on, so that's a good thing. Do you think ROH is better now because TNA pulled the talent? I think a lot of the guys, minus Daniels, pretty much reached their peak in the company. It forced ROH to push new talent, and I think more than ever they have a stacked roster top to bottom. And I know you say keep it to one question, so you don't have to respond to this, but if you don't want to, just want to know your opinion on Davey Richards. Davey Richards is okay. I'm not real big on Davey Richards. He kind of suffers from Lance Stormitis sometimes, I feel. But other than that, I think he's good. As far as them being better now, I think they're definitely better now than they were the start of the year. The start of the year just started off really strange and very weird to me. But I do agree. I think that those guys leaving definitely kind of put their butts in gear a bit and made them to put on better shows than probably they had any reason to actually do. Since ROH has been able to sell out Manhattan Center now for a while, do you think it's time for them to run the Hammerstein Ballroom? They can't run the Hammerstein because WWE has a contract with basically the Manhattan Center, where the ballroom is, that nobody else can run Hammerstein. So for another, I think, 2 years. So there you go. Hey TruthSlayer, simple question to you: why do you hate TNA so much? They're way better than WWE. Because I don't agree that they're way better than WWE. I don't hate TNA. I'm just very frustrated with TNA. They should be way, way better than the WWE, and they're not. They're about on the same page as WWE. I could even argue that WWE has had a better year this year than TNA has, and I shouldn't be able to do that. TNA has to go out there and deliver every single time they're on TV, every single time they're on pay-per-view. That may not be fair, but that's the truth of the matter, and people need to start realizing this. So there you go with that. And last but not least, I just saw on a headline that New Japan and TNA will do battle on their traditional January 4 Tokyo Dome show. New Japan seems to have collaborations every year lately, with 0-1 in 2006 and All Japan last year. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this will be a big step for New Japan or TNA? Plans are that New Japan wants to have both IWGP titles be defended along with the X Division title. I think this could be this will be very telling, because if they can put on a very big show in Japan, I definitely think this will be good for TNA. I think it'll be good for New Japan. As most of you know, particularly the New Japan marks out there, I don't think very highly of New Japan at the moment. I don't think they're very good. I think they're very much on the same level as TNA is as far as match quality and the whole thing. They haven't put on a match that's really wowed me this year. Every match that everyone says I need to see, I watch, and I'm like, that's a great match, but it's not that great of a match. So there you go. I do like the fact of them doing the IWGP title thing. I think that will definitely get people excited. The X Division title should also be pretty nice, and I think it'll be interesting to see how the Japanese kind of go for that. But this could definitely be very big. It could be a big flop. It'll definitely be something to watch, I think. And that's all I have for this one. Hope you all have a good one, and talk to you later.
Let's ride.